This is Stefan Schmidt for InsiderIowa.com. The economy continues to be very troubling, and job creation is lagging. So President Obama has launched a new initiative. This week he gave a speech at the White House in the Rose Garden, in which he laid out a package of combination of things. One of them is spending cuts, and the other is an increase in taxes for millionaires. And then also in there, I think there was a discussion about essentially not renewing President George W. Bush's tax cuts that come up sometime soon. And he was very passionate and came across as much more determined, politically committed to getting this done. And he also drew a line in the sand with the Republicans and basically said, I am going to have some cuts. We're going to cut some programs, and we're going to cut Medicare to some extent, but I am not going to agree to any cuts unless we also have some revenue increases. And he said, I'll veto any effort by Congress to pass cuts without increases in revenue. And that was seen as the first time in his presidency that Obama basically changed his political game plan, let's call it that. It's like when a coach has been trying something and it just isn't working, and all of a sudden they come out in a football game and all of a sudden there's a new play that is much more aggressive. Everybody noticed that. Everybody said that it looked like the new Obama is no longer really that interested in negotiating with and compromising with the Republicans. He has been very frustrated with that, and his constituency, Democrats in particular, have been so disappointed with him that he has essentially given in to the Republicans and not been able to get any tax increases, so that it was both an economic speech, because the country is in trouble, and Obama said this will help to essentially, I should add that he also had some new spending programs. He had some extensions of unemployment benefits and some other things that would extend federal spending to stimulate the economy. He basically, I guess, was responding to the fact that nothing has worked very well. The news this week, should report to you, was, and it got buried in all of the rest of this, that the original stimulus plan that was laid out there actually did help a lot in preventing the economy from sliding even more, and it created something like 2 million jobs. The Republicans have said that the Obama stimulus plan, you know, is a job killer, didn't create any jobs, and so on. The new report from the Congressional Budget Committee and from the Federal Reporting Services was that, in fact, it now looks like it created about 2 million jobs. And so with the economy so slow and job creation so essentially stagnant, a lot of economists are saying we need more stimulus, and some said we needed a lot more stimulus than was in Obama's original stimulus, and much more than was in this one. The Republicans unfortunately disagree and are pushing back and are saying that what is needed is deregulation and cuts in federal programs and cuts in taxes. And so what we have is a clash of two different philosophies. One, that government is too big, we've got to cut spending and bring government under control. The other one is, I think, that in the middle of what I think is a second recession. I mean, I don't agree with the economic measures that say that this is not really a recession yet. The job numbers are terrible. Consumer confidence isn't very good. I think we're in a mild second recession. Many economists think that cutting spending and slashing programs when you are in a recession is not a good idea and is an invitation to dragging out the economic problems for a much longer time. So what we're seeing once again now is a stalemate between Obama and Congress. There is even another crisis looming this week, which is over a spending bill to help with hurricane relief from Hurricane Irene, which is desperately needed by communities that were hit. The Republicans don't want to appropriate those funds unless budget cuts are done, and so there is another sort of debt ceiling type stalemate and gridlock coming up that many people are very frustrated with. We are living at a moment when there is really a kind of a paralysis in Washington, D.C. The president now has a plan, but the Congress is so controlled by conservative Republicans that his plan is unfeasible. And so I think we're going to be slogging through a very poor economy for the next year and going right up to the November elections. And those elections will decide what the next Washington environment will be, because it depends on who's president and it depends on who controls the House and Senate. It's not a pretty picture. I mean, this week I personally am very pessimistic at our chances of really attacking the issue of a stagnant economy and a lack of job growth anytime in the next year. This is Stefan Schmidt for InsiderIowa.com.